things that Universal does better than Disney.
Now, people are going to probably give us a little bit of grief for this one, but there are some things that Universal does a lot better than Disney. And we're going to go into those on today's video.
Okay, starting things off with number one, the virtual lines at the water parks at Universal. So the water park at Universal, Volcano Bay, is one of our favorites. It's a very immersive, very highly themed water park. But what the bonus does that Disney does not do is that tapu tapu.
I think, first of all, let me just say that I think Volcano Bay is the best water park in Orlando. Just getting that out there. Second thing is there anything better than being able to go tap your tapu tapu and get a return time than sitting there waiting in a wet bathing suit in front of everybody?
While you're chafing?
Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't want to sit there and wait in line for 47 minutes. Just let me tap the thing like we're tapping magic bands and then go back when my time is up. I love that. And I think that's a great way to be able to enjoy the park while you're kind of waiting in line as well.
It's a way to have fun while you're waiting in line. You can go into the Fearless River, you can hang out there as long as you want, and then it pops up on your wearable wristband, which is waterproof. It's called the Tapu Tapu Band. Super easy. It's one of the things that I wish I knew about before our first trip to Volcano Bay because I had no idea. People were talking about this virtual line. And I was like, yeah. How good can it be? But it's amazing because you just wear it and it alerts you when it's your time. And then you can really make it makes a huge impact, I think, on your day because you can just kind of chillax and relax and have a great time without, like you said, waiting in line awkwardly in your bathing suit.
Now, you do want to have a little bit of a strategy, and maybe we'll do a whole nother podcast or video about that because there are water slides that are more popular than others, and you don't want to use your tapu tapu on one that doesn't necessarily have a long wait or you're only waiting 15 minutes. You want to use it for the ones that are way more popular that may even tap out before you even get a chance to use it. So we'll do a whole other video on that, but there is a strategy behind which ones you want to do.
Great advice.
Next one, the next thing that Universal does better than Disney. Sorry to cut you off there, but I'm feeling hot, and this one's got me feeling a little sweaty. The AC.
This is such a simple thing, and I don't know if people are going to agree with us or not on this. Maybe local Floridians won't even know what we're talking about because somehow their blood gets thinner when you're down there. You don't really need the AC, but for us New Englanders, it can get really hot visiting Central Florida, and the AC at Universal, whether you're waiting for an attraction or you're in their shops, is just way more cool.
Yeah, it almost feels like Disney says, you know what temperature we're going to set the AC at? We're going to set the temperature to where you feel like there's AC, but you also feel like there's kind of not.
Yeah, like don't move your body too much and you won't notice.
Yeah, like if you're completely still and you don't move, you're going to cool off a little. But we're not going to cool you off so much that you're feeling super comfortable and want to come back in here.
Right. I mean, there are some newer attractions that I think do a better job at Disney that don't have to name right now, but they definitely, you can tell the technology is new or whatever. But I'm telling you, last time we were in Space Mountain, I was so hot. It's one of my favorite queues, and just being hot in there and there being no windows, you really start to kind of feel claustrophobic. When you're in Universal, it's none of that. Like I felt nice and cool the whole time, didn't feel like I was overheating. So if that's the one thing, I just wish Disney would just take note of this. Maybe everybody down there doesn't notice because like I said, their blood thins, so they're not noticing that it's a little bit uncomfortable for their guests.
I have a conspiracy theory on this.
What's that?
That's me. I'm the conspiracy theorist.
Sure.
You know how people say that sometimes they jack up the time for the lightning lane so people purchase the lightning lane? Mm-hmm. What if they jack down the AC for attractions that they don't want people to go to right now because it's too busy? You know what? Let's turn the AC down a little bit. People are going to get so hot and uncomfortable that they're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. It's their way to shuffle around folks.
Yeah. It's like there's always, listen, you never know. There's always things behind the scenes that these companies do to move people around. You never know what they're thinking behind the scenes, and that could be something they're doing.
Well, what about the shops? Like the shops are sometimes overcrowded. There's a lot of people in them there. I mean, Disney has some incredible merchandise to buy, but it's really can be uncomfortable to navigate the crowds plus feeling that and you love humidity, but when you're trying to focus and buy something and you're overheating, it's not necessarily the most comfortable shopping experience for me.
There's only one time I don't love humidity, when they make me fill in all the available space.
That's true. Good point. All right, next one. At Universal, there are no park reservations required.
This should have been number one. The no park reservation, especially if you're an annual pass holder, is such a huge bonus for going to Universal versus Disney. You can have a spur of the moment visit if you are maybe you're going to the park and you are staying at a Universal hotel and it's raining one day. And you're like, you know what? I don't want to go today. I want to go tomorrow. There's no reservation needed, no switching it around, no maneuvering. You just get to go tomorrow.
Exactly. And that takes a huge load of stress off of you when you're planning out your vacation because you don't have to worry about weather. You can just arrive. And I think that is something that Universal does so well. They eliminate that park reservation, and it really feels like you can have more of a handle on your trip.
You can do more of, unlocking the magic when you're there because you get to relax a little and you don't have to have such a rigid plan and an Excel spreadsheet out to figure out what you're going to do for your vacation. You get to kind of go more with the flow at Universal because there isn't that reservation required.
Well, it gives you that opportunity to, if there is something that's thrown at you at the last minute, you can adjust your plans and not have to do too much thinking about it.
Next thing that Universal does better than Disney is these free express pass when you're staying at select hotels in Universal is a great bonus.
Yes, I think that this speaks volumes. The Express Pass, in my opinion, is a lot easier to use at Universal. So that's one thing about it. But really just you're spending a little more money to stay at these select Universal hotels, but you get this huge benefit. And a lot of people, they reach out to us about booking their trip, Unlocking the Magic Travel, by the way, hit us up. They actually are asking us, okay, well, I'm going to stay at this resort, but then I'm going to buy Express Pass. And it's sometimes easier to book a stay at one of these exclusive resorts that gives you that added benefit.
Yeah, they were even saying, we were talking to somebody at Universal that says, you know what, sometimes you're better off booking one night at these select resorts to give you the Express Pass for your whole family because you are staying there, and it pays for the night of the room.
So you get this at Portofino Bay, you get this at the Hard Rock Hotel and Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. You literally get to forget the regular lines, and that, to me, is worth so much.
The Express Pass, by the way, in general, I feel is better than Genie Plus.
Yeah, I can see that. I said that earlier. I think that you definitely have a better grip. It's been around longer. I think that they've really been able to navigate it better. All right, this next one is the variety of foods. Now, wait a minute before everybody throws stuff at us on their screen. Let me explain, because this was a hot topic at our house with our teenagers. Some agreed, some did not. And I want to say, if you compare the variety of foods at, say, at Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, you're not really getting a vast array of things when you look at what Universal actually has to offer. And that's Universal Studios and Universal Islands of Adventure.
Yeah, I definitely think that with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, those two theme parks or those two themed areas in the parks, they do a much better job of giving you immersive food than, say, Galaxy's Edge does, or even Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. I think Universal does a much better job of representing the foods that you would actually eat if you were at that place.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And that is why we were going back and forth, because obviously what Disney does best for food is Epcot and, of course, Animal Kingdom. There's so many great foods. But if you think about it and you compare Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios to some of the places you can eat, some great Mediterranean food at Islands of Adventure. There's just an array of assortment of foods that I think it exceeds what Disney does.
Plus,
right now.
Mythos Restaurant says right on the sign outside the front door, it says the #1 themed restaurant in any theme park in Orlando. Like, it's self-proclaimed. How can it be? It reminds me of Buddy the Elf when he has the world's best cup of coffee. You walk in, you're like, congratulations, everybody. You did it.
How can you argue that? Right?
You can't argue when it says the #1 themed restaurant.
Has anybody done that yet? Has anybody gone into Mythos and said, congratulations?
Not only has, I bet you, somebody done it, but
Yeah.
the staff is probably like, oh, God, another one of these.
They're over it.
Another one of these people coming in here thinking they're funny,
They're going to get views.
referencing Buddy the Elf. We get it. We've watched that movie before, pal.
And we're over it.
Yeah.
All right, next and last, the thrilling coasters. Now, Disney does a great job lately, especially with Cosmic Rewind. And of course, there's Expedition Everest, which is a great roller coaster. But when you compare Universal, the Incredicoaster, Hagrid's Motorbike, there is no comparison. The thrills that you get on those coasters it just beats out Disney any day.
Velocicoaster and Hagrid's are the two best roller coasters that I think I've ever been on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Cosmic Rewind is great, but the thing that Cosmic Rewind has against it is dizzying to some people who go on it.
It's not necessarily a coaster, in my opinion. A coaster is like a straightforward thing with ups and downs, hills. It's not. Cosmic Rewind is amazing, don't get me wrong, but it does have that effect on people where maybe some that are really used to coasters actually cannot ride Galaxy's Cosmic Rewind.
Hagrid's and Velocicoaster are just so well done when it comes to the intenseness of them.
Right.
Disney doesn't have anything like that.
I know we said 6, but let's just add one more to this list because I do think that I think this is important to note as well. Another thing that Universal does really well is it's really convenient. The hotels in the park is really close by and really easy and accessible.
Yeah, no matter what resort you're staying at in the Universal area, you can get to the theme park pretty easily. Now, you can get Disney has a lot of transportation methods, but depending on where you're staying, you almost have to pick the resort you're staying at in Disney for what type of transportation you want to take.
Right. That's something to consider, of course, of what park you want to go to and where do you want to stay.
Right. All of the resorts at Universal Orlando have easy transportation to get to the park. And you can almost, even if you don't want to take any transportation, most of them you can just walk to the parks.
You can. All right, that's going to do it for this list of 6 things or so, things that Universal does better than Disney.
Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Let us know if there's something that we missed. What do you think Universal does better than Disney? Question this show. Give us a comment, whatever it is. Whatever you like about Universal over Disney, we want to hear it in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.